Hi everyone, it's Linda Ockwell-Jenner here, President of Motivational Steps, and we're back in the series Women in Tech and sometimes Women Not in Tech with Sharon Bennett. Hi Sharon.
Hi Linda.
I am really loving these chats we're having. As I say, we've covered women in tech and now we've kind of expanded it a bit. We've talked about a lot of different topics, but primarily we do want to see more women in tech, don't we? That's why we started this. And today you're talking a little bit about allies, and I'm not quite sure I understand, why we need allies. Are we at war?
No. No, when we start talking about women in tech or minorities in tech or STEM, you'll hear the term allies. These are the people who are helping us. And so to combat that lack of diversity or the lack of diversity and inclusion in tech or STEM, we need to have people who are going to help us. And this doesn't just mean other females or other minorities. This also includes men. So everybody has to come and step up to the plate in order to be a part of the solution.
So an ally actually means a friend, a supporter.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not like, in war when you have allies in war. I don't know why I thought about that. Probably because of D-Day and all the celebrations, if you can call it a celebration, So how does this help the organisation? Let's start with the organisation. How does this assist the organisation?
Again, when we have inclusive and diverse workforces, we make better products. We have a happier workforce overall. Yeah. And so it's really important that we include everybody within that organization. And so having an ally will help booster that. And so, there's some easy ways you can get started to become an ally. Understand the issue. A lot of people don't really understand that there is this lack of diversity within tech, and it's huge. There's a huge gap. And so when you start understanding the issues and actually understand what those numbers are and what it represents or doesn't represent, then you become an ally, because then you're consciously aware of what is happening.
So is the ally primarily in the same workplace as the person having, some really big issues or challenges? Or
an ally can be anybody who's going to help out, whether it be, you see something inappropriate going on the street and they're stepping up and going, hey, that's not right, or is it in the workplace? And that's one of the big things an ally can do is, stand up for what's right.
Yeah, don't we get battered though? Oh my gosh. As I say, I do my best, but it would seem that the people who are not doing what's right just want to bully people. And I'm not in the workplace per se, especially in the corporate workplace, and I'm not a techie woman. So really, you're finding friends to speak up for you. Now, is there sometimes a language barrier involved here? Because you talked about diversity and all these kinds of things. Does the language barrier sometimes cause challenges and they need an ally for that in the workplace?
I haven't really seen that. I'm not saying that may not be the case. I'm just not aware of it. But I'm talking about standing up, and it's whether it be language or maybe it's a microaggression, so like a statement that's not appropriate. Stand up and say, hey, that's not right. It could be in my case, one of my children's friends said something that was totally inappropriate, and I was like, no, that is not right. And what you said was wrong. And sometimes they don't realize that that's the case because that's what they've grown up with.
So we're going back again, aren't we, to our first topic in this series, where we talked about women primarily in the tech industry, in the tech workplace, who had to stand up for themselves. Remember that story about the woman who'd gone to the washroom, the ladies' washroom, and the guys had gone to the guys' washroom, and they'd had a vote without her, and she goes, no, that's not right. And they did vote the same way, but that was standing up for herself. But she didn't have an ally, did she, really? She had to so it's much easier if somebody's there. Now, what about if you're going through a situation, primarily in the workplace? Where's the ally going to come from? If you're having a situation in front of somebody, how does that work out? Do you go and look for one or hope one walks by?
Well, when it comes to allies, we need to foster that within the workplace. So we need to have a workplace where people are comfortable standing up and going, you know what, that's not appropriate, or I don't think you should do that, or can we use different terminology, such as let's start taking out the word guys for the room, and be a little bit more inclusive.
So what would be a better word?
People.
Okay.
I have one manager. She doesn't use guys. She doesn't use girls. She uses friends.
Okay, so this is where we mustn't fall out, Sharon. We mustn't fall out. But I just think it's up to the individual. And if we offend somebody by saying guy or male or female, and I know we're all about, gender this and gender that. But the thing is, what about the people who don't want to say people and they do want to say male, female? I mean, it seems one-sided to me a bit now that we've got to kind of step on tiptoes to make sure we don't offend somebody because we say the wrong word. I mean, can you see it from that perspective? I
can, but it's not doesn't take much to really think about what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. And some of it, I mean, it's easy. And again, we're going through it at my workplace, trying to remove the he, she, and it's just kind of retraining yourself.
So are we removing it? And this is getting good now because I don't agree with you, but we can't slap each other through the video, so we'll be safe. I still don't understand why everybody has to remove the he, she. Surely it's only the people who want to, because you see, change is good, but if in this place, if the change isn't causing any harm, and then even if it's a minority, as long as we're not being rude about the he, she, it's as if everybody's being forced the other way now and then. Let's say I become a minority because I don't want to go through that change, not because I'm rude, but because it's normal to me. It creates a big problem in the workplace, I think, because how the goodness me does it work in the workplace? My goodness, I cannot imagine it. Has anybody ever said to you, but I like saying he, she, and I'm not being rude?
Right. For us, it's because for what I do, anybody in the world will see my content. So for me, I don't know who's going to see my content.
Yeah.
And for me, I really try to make sure it is as inclusive as it can be.
So what does that mean? Who's going to see your content? How does that affect whether you're a he or she?
Because I don't want to create content where I have a question or I have a statement where he will do something. Or if I have...
Oh, that would be they then, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's kind of different, though, isn't it? I'm talking about the face-to-face interaction or the group interaction. So imagine I'm at one of my network events I organise, and I say, so everybody in the room is a person. I'm not going to call you he and she. So I'm never going to go there, babe. But the thing is, Sharon, I shouldn't call you babe, that's bad. But the thing is, I'm not being bad. I know everybody's lovely, but I don't think I'm ever going to not be able to call people. Now, if you says to me from now on, I want to be called a person instead of a her or a he, I would do it if somebody asked me. But generally, I've got the impression we're being asked to do it all the time. And I think in a way, what used to be a minority is now becoming, pushing to be the whole caboodle, and then everybody else becomes a minority. So what have we achieved, really? Couldn't it be everybody play happily? Is that too innocent?
Yes, I think so. But from, again, I'm using the example of guys, for a meeting, only because there will be, the occasional female in that room. And because we are so lacking as it is, we don't want to be one of the guys necessarily. And so to remove that
makes
and it's
sense.
Hard. It's really hard. I mean, we're used to, I say it all the time, hey guys, and now I'm really trying to correct that, because I know some of my other tech women friends do not want to be one of the guys.
So just say, hey people?
Say, I don't even say anything. Hello. Just hello.
This is why we started this series, to talk about these topics. And I'm not laughing at you. I just feel slightly embarrassed that I've probably been going around calling guys, and they're too scared to tell me. I think we talked about this before as well, there are some things that I'm never going to change, and there's some things I want to change. And the good thing is we can laugh about it and still be friends. It's when somebody picks on me and said I'm completely wrong, which actually did go on Facebook recently. I got told I was an idiot or something for not agreeing with somebody's opinion. And I go, but your opinion is an opinion, it's not a fact. And then I walk away from the debate. So, no, I'm not trying to dish you, Sharon. I think you've got a really good point. Because we started this so women in tech, we could bring to the fore that A, there's not enough women in tech, and B, women in tech do generally, or maybe not so general, I don't know, get treated badly. And I understand, because, I'm one of those women, I prefer to be surrounded by people who are men, who are males, than surrounded by women. I don't do very well with a crowd of women. I just better just zip my mouth up now because I'm not doing it. So this started about allies, right?
Right.
Is it more difficult, do you think? This is a good question. In your experience in the workplaces you've worked at, do guys tend to be an ally for a female person, or do they stick to their own gender and say, well, they can look after themselves?
It has definitely gotten better over the years. There's definitely more men now who will go, that's not right, and will step in.
That's good.
And again, the workplace has to foster that culture, because nobody's going to step up if they feel they're going to be penalized for it.
No, and we discussed this in a little way. I could not believe that some women are penalised for speaking up for themselves, because I am all for speaking up for myself. I've got a really big mouth, as you can get. I think I've been kind of lucky, I just kind of act like me and I get away with it. It is getting better in the workplace, though, and as I say, with people like you and people like, Dave and the other people I know, who actually strive to make it better, to have the diversity, to build the mentorship and the allies and stuff like that. I am happy it's getting better. So what kind of message would you leave us for people like myself who are unsure what to do in the workplace, having allies? What would be the advice you'd give if somebody wants to, be an ally in the future?
Learn about it. That would be probably the number one. And then support conferences or companies or initiatives that support or encourage diversity and inclusion. Maybe not attend a conference where the panel is all men. Yeah, that makes sense. I remember when we had were you on the panel once when we had one of the conferences for the SBC, and I think you were, weren't you? I remember a picture of you, yeah. It was all women. I've been on one, yes.
It was all women, Sharon. I did good. But there again, I've had panels of men as well. Oh gosh, I'm tiptoeing along here. I think that's a good way to say this has been a wonderful conversation. and we'll come back again soon, and we're going to be doing another topic, and I hope I don't get tongue-tied and tongue-twisted on the next one. It is quite funny though. We'll always stay friends. Thanks again, Sharon, and we'll be back soon with another one.
Okay, great. Thanks.